Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I am so happy to have you all here, and I am so happy to be a part of National Apprenticeship Week. This panel is the third part of our series for National Apprenticeship Week in 2021. Through this series, Bitwise Industries is proud to share the journey of pre apprenticeship to apprentice to journey worker, and from the inception of Bitwise's industries model to the successful program that we have today. We're sharing that all with you throughout the week. So we are so happy that you have chose to join us today. Today, I am so proud to bring a group that is here to chat with us. We include a current Bitwise apprentice and a couple of partners in our community who have helped shape the apprenticeship program into what we see today. We'll hear a person's story of how they found our program and how we and all of our partners were instrumental in helping changing the lives of those involved in Bitwise Industries apprenticeships. So once again, thank you so much for joining us. We are really happy to bring to you today Shang, Oakland Councilwoman, Karma Drukpa, a Bitwise apprentice, Cathy Rockberg, CEO of the Lao Family Community Development Fund, and Tamara Walker from the City of Oakland's Workforce Development Board. Thank you all for joining me today. It is an honor and a pleasure to have you all here. And I will give you all just a moment to introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about the role you have and how you got into that role. And I'll start with Councilmember Tao.
All right. Good morning. It's still morning today. And so thank you so much for having me on. This is such an amazing group of people here with me today on the stage. And just a little bit about me. I'm Council Member Shang Tao. I ran for office in 2018 and won my race, becoming California's first Hmong American councilwoman in the state. And I have the honor representing Oakland's District 4, and I currently serve as Council President Pro Tem on our Oakland City Council. And I stand here unapologetically. I always fight for working families. And the reason why I fight for working families, and it goes back to your question around, how did I end up being a council member? Well, growing up as a daughter of refugees, and a single mom, and also a DV survivor as well. I think that it's incredibly important when we talk about representation at these decision-making tables, that we also have representation of life experiences as well. And I think that, every day I wake up and it's through my life experiences that really shapes the policy that I move forward. And that is why I am so invested in Bitwise, because growing up, we know that there needs to be access points and pathways. And when working families are given these access points and pathways, we can definitely do better for not just our family, but that's how we create intergenerational wealth. And so that's what I'm all about. And I'm so happy to be with you all today.
Thank you so much. Karma, will you tell us a little bit about your journey to being an apprentice?
Thank you, Kenan. Thank you, Kenan, for having me here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. My name is Karma, born in Bhutan and raised in refugee camp. Lived there for over a decade, and it was tough. I came to the United States in 2015. It was a new beginning for me. Everything seems to be different and unique. I didn't know what I wanted to do in the future. I felt like it would be impossible to get a job, something that I like to do. I've always been fascinated by technologies and computers. However, I didn't know where to go and get help. Things were difficult. I self-taught how to code using various online resources like YouTube, Udemy, and FitCode Camp. With some preparations and basic knowledge, I joined an intensive 12 weeks of coding bootcamp for web development. I graduated from there, continued to pursue my dream to become a front-end developer, and I got a job as a junior developer at a previous company. Unfortunately, I could not continue there, and COVID hit right around at that time. I got laid off. I'm so grateful to be here where I'm today as a Salesforce admin, a Salesforce apprentice, because Bitwise gave me this fantastic opportunity and changed my life.
Thank you so much, Karma. You are an inspiration for so many, and I love that we are able to have you in our family thanks to the Lau family. And so I will turn it over next to Cathy for you to introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Cathy Chow Rothberg, the CEO of Lau Family Community. And I'm so pleased to be here, with both Karma and our council member, Shang and Tamara, our WIB, Oakland WIB representative, and all of you from Bitwise. I came to Lau Family back in 2005. My background is in real estate development, and I spent about 12 years in both at Ebalsi and then at First Community Housing. But I started volunteering, at Lau Family when I was 10 years old, starting my apprenticeship at Lau Family, not thinking that one day I would actually apply for the job because my father is the founder of Lau Family Community Development. We are a 41-year organization, and we serve about 31,000 people a year in 3 different counties. And of course, it's really critical for our line of work in serving the community to advance their well-being that we work with local partners, with state partners, and also with federal partners. So we were so pleased that Tamara introduced Bitwise to us. And, we need council members like Shang Tao and other members of the council who push not only for WIB dollars, but also general fund dollars to support adults and young adults who really need better jobs with benefits so that they can actually survive and thrive in the city of Oakland. And of course, Karma, we had known about Karma in the Bhutanese community, and through our staff, Niran, and Sue. That's how we got connected with Karma, how he entered into our program. And then he'll talk more about his own, background and his path. But we know that Oakland WIB and the city of Oakland, they're concerned with career pathways and sectors that have better jobs opportunities. And so, through the combination, and we'll talk a little bit more later on in the program about how the WIB program, the adult program with the WIB, and how we were able to use the OJT program really to support Karma's placement with your organization, during the OJT period.
Thank you so much. And I am one who have just learned all those acronyms. So if you're on listening to us live and you're like, what's a WIB and what's a OTJ? And well, I didn't learn any of that on my own. I had the help of an insider, Tamara Walker, who was a friend from prior relationships when we were trying to make this change. So Tamara, will you please introduce yourself? You don't have to worry about those definitions yet, but it's with your help we were able to understand how to get engaged with the Lau family.
Yeah. Good morning. My name is Tamara Walker. I'm with the Oakland Workforce Development Board. How did I get in this work? I've been in this work for 27 years. Yes. And actually, how I got into it was as a young person growing up, I got a lot of resources, in my community. I had mentors, I had all of those things. However, when I came back from college, again, a person of IT, I didn't see that. And so I made it my mission from that point to make sure that those resources were available for young people, for adults, so that they can become self-sufficient, in high wage jobs, high growth jobs. And so that is what I've been doing. That is what I have been doing for the past 27 years.
Amazing work, and it was a wonderful opportunity to reconnect with you because I knew you were true and honest about that work and that you had been steadfast and committed to that work, so it made for an easy partnership. Our next question is going to talk about how we all in our roles connect more Oakland residents to these types of apprenticeship opportunities. And so I'll go to Council Member Tao first to ask about connecting these types of apprentices to people all across the city. How does that work?
Absolutely. I think that, so I really appreciate you, Kenan, not only as a constituent, but really reaching out to my office to say, look, we have this great program. And we just want to be able to share this body of wealth. And actually, it not only teaches people and into and get people into this sort of career, but really at the end of that process, you get an actual living wage, good paid job. And if you wanted to take your expertise to, say, Salesforce or Facebook, we are more than happy for you to do that. But in the interim, there is no time lost in regards to jobs and wages. And that's exactly what we need here in the city of Oakland. In the city of Oakland, we are seeing that we need more opportunities for our young people, for those who are trying to switch, the line of work that they're working in. And I think that the beautiful thing about the connectivity, and that is what it is really the city's role in all of this is connecting, my constituents, connecting, organizations such as Bitwise to community organizations just such as Lao Family, who constantly work with our unhoused families, right? People who are wanting to get good paying jobs so that they can live and play and thrive here in the city of Oakland. And these are opportunities that I see as as the city of Oakland. It is our responsibility to create these connectivity in a more simpler way, in a more systemic way. And so we know that many of our young people in high school right now, many of them will go to college, and that's beautiful. And some of them must enter the workforce immediately. And so for them, entering the workforce means, settling for a job such as, not that there's anything wrong with it, but a job like McDonald's that doesn't pay health benefits, you can't get, Medicare or what have you. And so at the end of the day, organizations such as Bitwise is so incredibly important to how we keep Oaklanders in Oakland. We see an exodus of our Black and brown families, especially our Black families. It's from 40% to now below 20%. How do we keep our Black families that make Oakland so beautiful here in the city of Oakland? And this is how we do it, creating access points, getting engaged with our faith-based community organizations as well. And again, it's City Hall connecting organizations such as Bitwise with our churches, with our religious organizations, with CBOs, with organizations such as Lao Family. And when we connect this and have all the leaders come to the table, we can bring all the people, all the members who are utilizing these resources together so that people can actually have different pathways, different opportunities, and they can make a decision on how they're going to be supporting their family and moving forward, because we also know that in IT, we don't have enough Black and brown folks in IT as well. And so, connectivity is incredibly important, and I am committed to that.
Councilmember Tao, I thank you, and I know you are relentless in connecting all of us to the opportunities that exist in our cities. And one of those is getting directly to those who work with the people we are trying to serve as Bitwise. And in order to do that well, we have to connect with CBOs like Lao Family Community Development Fund. And so, Cathy, can you help talk about how you went about recruitment, or how you go about recruiting in the community so that people know about these opportunities and are able to access them?
Sure, absolutely. So, I think I want to begin with first, we ask every single year, we do a community survey. And when we serve the community, one of the first things that the community told us was that they trust Lao Family as a partner to them. There's a tremendous amount of great training in the United States, in Oakland, in Alameda County. There are multiple good community colleges. We have excellent universities. We have excellent faith-based organizations and CBOs. And then we have our WIBs. We have the Oakland Workforce Development Board. We have Alameda County Workforce Development Board. We have Richmond. We have Contra Costa, which is part of the East Bay Work System. So you have these great training organizations and groups like Bitwise. I know you guys were in the Valley, in Fresno, Stockton area, and then you came over to Oakland, and we're pleased that you're in West Oakland, in Oakland as well. So we have these great organizations, great training, but there's a disconnect, right? Because in the community's mind, getting into Merritt College or the Peralta College District or the CSU system or California State University or UC system or these private training organizations, they don't have a connection. So we have to build a bridge. And so we got to bring the groups like Bitwise and groups like Merritt College, Laney, CSU, Stanford, all of these universities into the community. So that's why we're pleased that when you reached out to Oakland, to Tamara connected us, and we called you guys right away because La Family is very invested, just like the WIB, I think, in the city, into career pathways and higher sector jobs. And Karma, came from Bhutan. His background is also a refugee, just like our council member and myself. I was a refugee person from the country of Laos. And I grew up here, but I think that because I came here when I was young, and my parents are I think well connected and they're educated, and so then I think I had a lot of opportunity. But I see a lot of my colleagues and our community members who don't have those connections and who don't have those opportunities, and like Karma taught himself. He had an education in India. He came over here and he also not only self-taught himself through video, but he went to Merritt College and he got his associate degree in a software application. But to enter Salesforce and to be a Salesforce administrator, to enter Google, eBay, all of these technology companies, we see a lot of Indian American, South Indian or Chinese or Japanese, Korean, but we don't see Southeast Asians. We don't see new refugees. We don't see foster children, foster youth, young adults whose parents were incarceration, or women who are domestic violence victims, survivors, or they're trafficked. We need to create these opportunities for them. And so we, because we're trusted by the community is coming to us. We're serving the Public Housing Authority and, young adults and children through the OFCY, Office of Family and Children and Youth, or through the WIOA, Workforce Investment Act, adult programs or youth programs. We're connected to the community. And we have 1,000 partners that are faith-based, CBOs, government entities, and for-profit sector. So our job is to be the bridge that connects, just like the WIB is connecting. So you guys, Bitwise, you're the trainers. And thank goodness, after COVID, I mean, one of the things that we all had to learn was really how to get training through Zoom or one-on-one meetings, through Zoom. And I think that made it a little bit easier for Karma because a lot of our young adults they're lucky in the sense that some of them are able to stay with the family, but the adults, they have to work, they have to support their family. So trainings have to be flexible. They have to be in the evenings, they have to be on the weekends, they have to be on the weekday, they have to be virtual, so that it gives different opportunities to the schedules that the families need. And I know that Karma will talk more about his own journey, but I know that when he was laid off and then he's trying to move into a higher sector, because during the OJT period, the 520 hours that the Oakland Workforce Development Board it was supporting, you guys were able to pay him $25 an hour while he's training. That translates to $51,000 a year in a salary. But once he finished those hours, you kept him in the training so he can complete the training. So his trajectory for his future pathway is he could be earning up to $140,000 or more once he's done with the training. And that's the kind of career and the salary we need to survive in Oakland and the Bay Area. We need these types of training.
Amazing. I'm fired up. I hope everyone in the audience is fired up. That is exactly correct. That is the type of investment we need in folks who have never had the ability to invest in themselves, whether that be financial, time, responsibility, all the pieces, education that we find ourselves faced with as barriers. I'm going to turn it to you, Karma, because we just heard a little bit about it. But what is so true that we know as Bitwise is without a trusted family member like Lao family, we can't reach people like you. And then we can't have, as you see in the chat, models of excellence for the community, people trusted in the community who can spread the word to tell folks about these opportunities. So I'm gonna turn it to you and just say, how do you work in connecting more people with the opportunities that you've now seen at Bitwise?
Thank you, Kenan, again. First of all, I'd like to thank to Bitwise and Law Family again. I wouldn't be here today without law family first, because that was the initial path, and that's how I got to know. And then again, Bill was giving that training and opportunity to learn and grow every day. I wish sometimes I feel like I wish I had known Bitwise earlier, because it's such a great company to work for. I'm 7 months in my Salesforce apprenticeship. I've never felt that, oh, today I don't want to work. I've never felt that, because the energy that I get, the diversity, the culture and support that I've experienced in this at Bitwise, it's just unmatchable. At least I can speak from my previous experience. And yeah, it sounds so good to be true, but it is true. Like I'm experiencing every day. So again, so like Cathy was saying, yes, I had really tough time when I got laid off. I didn't have no income to feed myself. At that time I had to use my savings, because I was looking for a job. And guess what, this big companies, they require several years of experience, which is something, if someone non-traditional people who want to get into tech and who has barely experience under their belt, and they but this company requires 5 or 6 years or 4 or 5 years of experience, which is insane. But I'm glad I found this opportunity, and Bitwise has only changed my life, and I'm definitely about this. And yeah, reach out to folks that my relatives. I've already talked to some my folks who are connected with me through social medias, like with LinkedIn. Like I reach out to them. Hey, we've got opportunity. Join this company. You'll feel the difference. You'll see the culture. You see the energy. It's just not only technical stuff. It will Bitwise sees human in you. It's not just you know technical, whether you are smartest person in the room or not. They see the potential in you. So I'm again super blessed, grateful every day that when I wake up, see that I'm here with the amazing teams. Even the Salesforce, I don't know Salesforce before, but I wanted to take this opportunity. I wanted to learn, see if I can get back into in tech, see if I can think. I took those challenges, and I'm glad I did. That was my best decision I've ever made. Again, this wouldn't be possible without Law Family. And Bitwise is, I will, if someone asks me, keep saying about Bitwise, I'll keep saying about all day long, no problem. I mean, because that's my real experience that I've experienced. I've had opportunity to meet CEO Arma, and had conversation like uh, a normal friend that I've known for a long time. I was like, that's so, I've never experienced that thing. And again, thank you very much. This is something I would continually try to spreading to my community folks who want to join the Bitwise in different field, whether it's in programming, whether it's a Salesforce. This is very true, and I'm blessed I'm here today. Thank you for the
Thank you,
every opportunity.
You are an inspiration, and as our CEO Irma said, we're all waiting for your TED Talk, so don't you worry. Lastly, we can't do this work without this entire partnership that you're seeing right here, and it includes understanding how do we make sure we have the funding, we have the grant supports to be able to pay our apprenticeships. And Tamara, I remember when I first learned what WIOA meant. It was through your graceful hand. It was through your knowledge that we were able to start understanding how we access some of these dollars. We are definitely low on time. This conversation is too good to stop, but I want to send it over to you just to give us an idea of how all of this kind of comes together with federal funding to make sure that we can really provide this opportunity that is paid.
I am just overwhelmed right now, because listening to him, as the workforce board, we rarely get the opportunity to hear from those who are actually taking the classes. So it really touches my heart, especially a girl who, I was in tech, went to school for computer science, was the only Black girl in the class. So it just really warms my heart. And so for us, that is our whole focus of the Workforce Development Board, is really to make sure that we are putting people in opportunities that will help them to grow and be self-sufficient. A person, being a person of color in the tech field, I worked diligently trying to find a training provider that could do tech for us in a short amount of time. And as you know, the governor has asked that we have 500,000 apprentices by 2029. So it was another win-win when you all had your apprenticeship program. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to make this happen. And, again, Lao family, I just have to always, bow down to you because I appreciate your staff. They are so wonderful. Cathy, I love you with everything in me. And so the thing is, what we do, it's not unique. There's 49 workforce boards in California. So it's just knowing the right people, knowing how to get access to those funds, working with organizations like Cathy, who is diligent about making sure that people get in and are successful. So it is our responsibility as the workforce boards to really use our money wisely. And IT is it, especially now because of COVID. So making sure that we have enough money to pay for our participants to participate in these training programs. That is what we do. That is why we are here. And for me, IT is really a passion of my heart, because I know what can happen when someone goes into IT. So again, I thank Bitwise. I thank Keenan for coming to me to talk about it. And, we continue to work together.
That's exactly it. I want to
we have a call coming up.
Yes, we do actually today. I want to thank everyone who has attended today's discussion. I generously and with all my heart thank you all on our panel for being a part of this discussion. It has been moving, it has been riveting, and it is about economic development in our city. It is about keeping those people who are at the edges and the fringes able to stay in place in our city so that our beautiful Oakland can remain its culturally diverse self. And I just really, really am thankful for the way that we can come together as a community in partnership to bring up all of the stories like Karma's and impact so many lives. I invite you all that are attending to join us again tomorrow at 11:30, where one of my favorite folks, Arturo Ceballos, will chat with current apprentices and hear about their journeys from apprentice to journey worker all the way to apprenticeship lead. I am so thankful once again for my group that is here representing Oakland and all of Bitwise for you all joining us and being a part of this movement to change the way we engage people in workforce development. This is Kenneth Sky, he, him saying thank you, and I'm out. Peace, everyone.
Great job.
Thank you.